ahead of him. So let's watch. The 5-second board comes on, the lights go green, and it's Liam Doran who gets the best of the start. Julian, Godfrey and Jos Jansen goes across to take their joker lap. Meanwhile, it's the Doran son and father that are at the head of the pack. He's Auto Point Specialist Engineering built cars, looking absolutely superb in the bank holiday sunshine, as we see on board that man Pat Doran, big-time British champion, looking like he is trying with everything he's got to try and close down on Liam. They both go into the hairpin, pitching a wheel up in the air. Of course, remember these cars, four-wheel drive, over 600 horsepower, accelerate to 60 miles an hour in about a couple of seconds. They are the most spectacular cars that you see on the agenda here. And you can see just how hard Pat is working. He's really giving it everything he's got. Having a son that races myself, I know sometimes it's frustrating when your son is as good as Liam is, and that is quite one of those things that Pat is, I'm sure, well aware of, but I don't think he's ready to hand over the mantle to the boy just yet. Meanwhile, Julian Godfrey has been well and truly dropped. He's doing everything he can. He said, well, he prefers his Ford, and at the moment I think he might be wondering whether a Citroen DS3 might have been the way to go. Now, problem for Jansen, a spin there. Has he managed to get away without any damage? I think he might have done. So that joker lap, obviously putting him further down the order at this stage, but it all could equal back up once everybody else has done that for themselves. Steve Mundy, meanwhile, has been strong this year, looking impressive in his Ford Focus. They have to work very, very hard to close down on these two. There's nothing in it, is there, between them? It does look a bit like Pat is actually, if anything, closing down very slightly on Liam. Certainly, I don't think this is going to be over till the very, very end. Both of these men, of course, know this place so well. They have a similar driving technique, very aggressive, very committed, a real fan favourite. Throughout his career, Pat has always been renowned for being such a strong driver in this situation, in a fight. But young Liam has certainly taken on the mantle, and the family honour is being upheld both in this race, but also, of course, in some fantastic races in Europe, as Pat now takes his joker lap. Mayhem logo proudly displayed on the side of his DS3. Of course, this is called the Mayhem event. And there is Julian in the background. We see him starting to do everything he can to try and close back down. Once again, as they go through the left-hander at the Devil's Elbow, the fight is still continuing. Pat pitches the car, and again, it really transfers a lot of weight, doesn't it? Godfrey, quite a lot of understeer on the way, and it goes into a sort of an oversteer slide on the way out as they go back onto the end of the lap. We saw Julian Godfrey have a massive spin here at Lydden earlier in the year, in the very first race of the year. Crossing the line there, and Doran Jr., Liam, just again using that spectacular action. He had absolutely tremendous performance in the B final and the A final of the European Championship event here back at the Easter Bank holiday weekend, when it absolutely teamed down with rain and he splashed through the mud after having some dramas in the heats, but he managed to get onto the back of the B final and work his way into the A final, and then charge through to a tremendous and very popular podium. But it looks, as they come to the end of the lap, that he's lost a little bit of pace. Puffs of smoke from the front of the car, but it looks like he's going to hang on. It's going to be Liam Doran who takes victory, and then promptly flies across the grass. So maybe there's a problem there for Liam on that final lap. Oh, certainly was puffing some smoke. Could have been something to do with the front end. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see. And let's have a little look. Yes, look at that. Look at that. You can see clearly a puncture, a front right puncture. Well, thankfully, from Liam's point of view, it happened late enough in the race that it didn't really affect his performance. Of course, as he turns into the final corner, the right-hander, it's not a problem. But here, where all the weight goes on the outside of the car, he slices across the grass. Now, I bet the old man was kind of thinking that wouldn't have been such a bad thing if that had happened a little bit earlier. Gives the tyre a good old kick. And he's managed to get the job done, though. Another fantastic performance family-wise for the Dorans, first and second.